We're now live.
Hi guys, this is Sakshi here from Food Hack, and I have the lovely Anita with me from Molly Rituals.
Molly Rituals. It's lovely to be here on a beautiful day, beautiful environment, and talking about things that we both love to talk about, which is health and happiness. And I think you can't feel truly happy unless you feel healthy, and you can't feel healthy unless you eat right.
Correct.
And that's where you come in, and that's where I try to come in. It's the nourishment through the product rather than the food, but it comes from the same place. It comes from the earth.
Correct.
Yes. So what was your motivation then?
My motivation was actually both personal and professional. So from a professional standpoint, I was at SoftBank. I was a healthcare investor.
Yeah.
My background's in biotech, and what I was noticing was that by the time we get a disease, it's too late.
Absolutely.
And majority of these diseases, they originate from the gut, and they're inflammation related, they're glycemic index related, which is all associated with food.
Yeah.
But yet, like, doctors don't know much about food. Nutritionists, dietitians are like for the top 1% of the 1% of the population, because they tend to be quite expensive. And so I thought there was something wrong. Because chronic diseases are on the rise. Government healthcare budgets are in deficit, and the deficit is increasing. Majority of the spend is spent on these chronic diseases, which are all linked with food.
Absolutely.
But there's nothing on the market which has healthcare related foods that are anti-inflammatory, low glycemic, free from allergens like glutens and dairies, and or built with Ayurvedic principles. And then I developed something on the personal side. I developed a very rare liver breakdown in my pregnancy, which was very stressful.
Was that 6 years or something? How long ago was that?
No, so that was about 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
Yeah.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Because Rayan's now 5.
Yeah. I could tell by looking at him.
Yeah. And the doctors said, it's very rare. Less than 0.5% of women have it. And you can't really do anything. You just have to monitor your LFTs, your liver function tests every day. And then it's the doctor's call as to when to just evacuate the baby out. And it's all pretty stressful. And that's when my biotech brain sort of thought, let me go into the clinical research, because our bodies sort of work like machines. There's biology, physics, chemistry. There's usually answers in science. And I changed my diet and went on this journey and basically managed to reverse it, because it comes back the second time round with a vengeance.
What was your diet like before?
To be honest, my diet... before all of this?
Yeah.
Before all of this, there were meats, because when I would order a salad for lunch, you automatically tend to do a chicken something or an egg something or without even thinking, and you're thinking
Absolutely.
You're healthy. There was no thought gone behind which salad to order. It was all to do with like taste.
Yeah.
I would eat, there was everything, just the glutens,
So food was not medicine, it was more pleasurable.
Yeah.
It was for pleasure.
Yeah, food was for pleasure. There was no science or thought. And then when I went on this journey and I kept discovering all these links with certain ingredients and diseases and longevity and preventative medicine, I was just blown away. And then I found all this other research which showed what some of these inflammatory markers do to us, like the dairies, which are pumped with hormones, or genetically modified foods, or
You can't even call them foods, really, can you?
they're
It
not.
seems criminal to call them foods.
Like, for example, wheat flour today, is that food? Like
No,
corn today?
exactly.
I mean, wheat is so highly hybridized today. God knows what all is mixed in there.
I know.
And it's everywhere. In every bakery and every coffee shop, the first thing you see is wheat. The last thing you see is wheat.
Absolutely.
Right?
Did
Similar
you
thing.
give up wheat altogether then?
Yeah, because honestly, I discovered that you can achieve, and I'll show you. Like today,
Yeah,
actually, my
I'd
kids
love
are
to see.
having
Yeah.
my kids are having these homemade pizzas. So instead of using wheat flour, we used organic quinoa flour. There's so much.
And it binds well?
Yeah, it binds well. For binding, you can use all sorts of.
Yes.
And you just need a sprinkle of
Yeah.
anything to bind. But the majority of it can be spelt. It can be quinoa. It can be sorghum. All these ancient grains like millets.
So luckily they were brought up on this. So by the time you had Rayan, he didn't know any different.
My
He
kid-
always ate
yeah,
well.
yeah.
He's so lucky to have been born to a mother who was so aware but many people just are not aware, right? They want to do better.
And that's why we're sitting here,
exactly.
right? And we're talking about this stuff.
So was it for you? Did it become a real mission then?
Yeah, because after I reversed this and after I found all these horror stories, you know, when I read about it in the research about what is, you know...
It'll reconnect. There you go. We will sometimes disconnect because the signal's a bit iffy. But we're here.
So when I found all these... you know, what the food today that we're surrounded by, like it's all wrong and all the bad stuff it sort of does to us. You know, that's when I kind of decided that I want to do my bit for people's health and for the planet. You know, which is where the mission behind Food Hub, which is what drives my entire team.
Yes.
We're not building another food company.
Yes.
We are on a mission to help people with their health and to help the planet.
Yeah. And I guess even if they buy one product from you, that one product serves as the entry to taking more care of themselves, as in it opens their mind. We find that, like, they buy one product, then they want to learn more. So if all we do is sell them one product and it opens their mind, then we've done something right.
Yeah, I mean, look, like for example, today with your tea time, you feel like having something sweet.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
If you have this, that means you have not had your typical refined sugar, your typical gluten, dairy. You know, you've probably had, you know, a similar kind of thing, like a brownie, but you've cut that other stuff out.
Yes.
So it's a step in the right direction.
And this isn't addictive. I mean, it is in that it's delicious. I remember eating it and thinking, God, I could eat more. But it doesn't have that same trigger that a sugary product would have.
Exactly.
Because it's natural sugar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's really clean, and you know, we've put in ashwagandha in there. You know, we've made it out of millet flour instead of white flour. You know, we haven't added any refined sugars. We put a bit of maple syrup in there. It's dark chocolate. You know, it's got chia seeds in there. So like just before you came, you might have noticed a little bowl.
I had a couple.
That was
delicious.
And that was Rayan's, because when he sees this, he likes it. Right? And you can see like
and
this
I'm
is
satisfied with that. I had it. And I was satisfied.
And it's great for your energy. It's great for your energy and your connective tissues and your oxidative stress, you know. So
was it a big was it a steep learning to get people to understand, or was it well received immediately?
Look, I think we're still on a journey, right? Because unfortunately, we're going back to the Industrial Revolution, right? Which is when all of these wheats and flours and sugars kind of entered our lives and then went on this crazy, massive scale, and then the quality deteriorated. So you're talking years and years and years of brainwashing that we need to now, you know, unbrainwash. But to our pleasant surprise, I think people in the UK especially, and other parts of the Western world, you know, they're becoming so aware about these things. They turn the back of the pack around. You know, I love hearing some of our customer, or like I love reading some of our customer emails where they question, what brand of coconut milk do you use? Just today on the way here, I was, you know, and that is such a pleasant surprise. That means people are experiencing what I experience, you know, with food. And now they're looking for ways in which, you know, they can change their diet, extend longevity.
They don't want to be hoodwinked, because even healthy foods, you must have read about that company that was selling oat milk that was full of...
canola oil and sugars.
Yes, exactly. So that's probably why they're asking you, because there's oat milk and there's oat milk.
Exactly.
And a lot of people show themselves to be healthy, the brands, but actually... they're not either. So it is good that people are asking. But you have to be so on it then to make sure that you can sort of stand by every single ingredient.
Absolutely.
And you do.
Yeah, we do.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. And that's why I feel like they've really welcomed us in the market with open arms, you know, and we've had a, you know, really sticky customer base. They come back, returning customers, you know, on their subscription. Still, like, we have both e-commerce, where you can do a one-time purchase of, you know, the snacks, the functional snacks as we call it, and we have a subscription which is weekly but very flexible. But majority of our customers are still subscription.
That's great.
Right?
That's great.
So I think they've really welcomed this concept. Second of all, I think this is a nice segue into, also Ayurveda.
Absolutely.
Right? People are, they're doing their yoga and they're getting more aware about listening to their bodies, connecting with their soul. And that's where Ayurveda kind of nicely comes in. And we've got a beautiful khichdi on the menu. In fact, we're going to do something.
Yes, that's
we're
right.
We're going to do a khichdi cleanse together.
Right, yeah.
And like khichdi is just, it's just so good for the gut.
Absolutely.
It's a mono diet. It's just...
And it proves that having good food need not be only for the few that can afford it.
Exactly.
Something like khichdi proves that you can eat well and you can do it without it impacting your pocket heavily.
Exactly.
In fact, it's much less than ordering a Deliveroo of something like Nando's or,
Yeah.
You can eat well. It's just a smokescreen to think that you can't.
Absolutely.
And I think the most important thing, even in Ayurveda, is that you get the food right. Because from that comes everything. We are made of that food. Like, it is extraordinary that you can eat something and then that something becomes you. Like, you become that something becomes you. Like, you digest it. So how can we be digesting these pretend foods and it not impact us? And you only have to write a food diary to see that. Like, the days you eat badly, the next day your mood is low, your energy is low, you're lethargic and probably irritable. That's the food you've eaten.
Yeah.
And you eat well and the next day you're flying and your energy is high. And I can't believe that people do so much before they change their diet.
Yeah.
It's so silly, really. Like, why would you do that? I'm going to probably get it wrong, but there's an Ayurvedic saying that's in the Vedas that it says that when you eat badly, medicine is of no use. And when you eat well, medicine is of no need.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely true. And I think that, the fact that you're doing that and bringing it to the West in a modern way that they can relate to is so empowering.
Yeah.
It's so empowering. And we try and do the same with our product. And though it is skincare, body care, hair care, behind it is this real desire for people to understand that the power lies with them. It doesn't belong to the big companies. It is all in them. And even, like I say, if they buy one product and they never buy again, though I know they will, that's okay. We've changed somebody's thinking and that will have a ripple effect, which will eventually come back to us anyway, because the demand grows, so it's all good.
Yeah.
So do you find this way of life easy now?
Much easier.
Good.
Much easier because I feel like I'm a more productive version of myself.
Good.
I feel better than I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
I feel younger than I was in my 20s. And I bet you if I did a biological age test, telomeres and glycan age and those markers, I bet you I'd probably be a decade or so younger. Because, I remember my 20s, it was obviously you're younger, your body's younger, you look younger, and in terms of body shape pre-kids, but I don't remember feeling this good and this on it. Like, I have this mental clarity throughout the day where I can, as an entrepreneur, starting out a new business, as a woman having 2 kids, a life, a husband, a house to manage, at the same time juggling, family life and business life. You need to be on it. You need to be taking small, medium and large decisions constantly, like multiple times in an hour or in a minute, and I just find there to be, such mental clarity. I can't believe today's a Friday. It feels like a Monday to me,
right. Wow,
because
so good.
because I'm just,
What throws you? What throws you off course?
So travel throws me off course.
Okay.
Right? So I was in India in the summer, and that's why I'm saying this so confidently, because I've just come back 2 days back.
Wow.
Right? And I'll give you, and I'm so aware now because of, the sort of world I'm in. So on the plane coming in, I was very unhealthy.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where I'm like, because the trip was really busy. I was working and sort of juggling kids, at the same time, and there was a lot of travel. In India, you can sit in a car for like hours because of traffic, and so Monday were like, I had a bunch of meetings in very, very far locations. So by Tuesday in the morning, my flight, I was tired, so I said to myself, today's my whatever cheat day, whatever, I'll just And I ate all the wrong things and, all of that. And I got here. Wednesday, I started work and I was super jet lagged. right?
This Wednesday just gone?
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm talking 2 days ago,
Gosh.
right? And I was super jet lagged. I was struggling. I wasn't really feeling happy. I actually thought that even my mental health, your hormones,
Absolutely.
serotonin,
Yeah.
dopamine, these levels are highly, highly impacted by food because your gut releases neurotransmitters, right? And so I went to work and I wasn't really feeling as prepared. I wasn't really, quite there. I was struggling.
Yeah.
Changed my food on the Wednesday because again, I was back at Food Hack. I was doing the Food Hack tastings and everything. And literally between Wednesday and Thursday, my jet lag went away. It was such a drastic change, right? My jet lag was over. I was happy. I was on it. And between Thursday and Friday, again, sticking to Food Hack. In fact, last night I had to go out because some friends were in town from California. But, still, more or less, I was, good. And today, I it feels like a Monday for me. I am ready to go.
Do you have a cheat day then?
To be honest, when I'm here in the UK, in my Food Hack life, I have a cheat day whenever I feel like having a cheat day. I never deprive myself of anything because life is always 80-20.
Absolutely.
But I'll tell you something about Food Hack, right? Like it's not born as a commercial, let me sell it to people.
Yeah.
My family eat this, I eat this, my in-laws eat this, my parents eat this, my kids eat this. It is, it's born out of the fact that food should be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Food should be delicious. Right? But you need to add a third dimension to it, which is food should also be adding value to your healthcare.
Absolutely.
So there is so much variety in Food Hack and the flavors are so big, but the salts are less because the flavors are big. And,
yes.
There are these clever ingredient swaps that I never feel like having a cheat day. Like sometimes I feel like even on my cheat day, I crave things like my tom yum soup.
Yes.
Or my rasam because it's spicy.
Yes.
So in the UK, like when I'm here with a whole Food Hack life, it's just rare to be craving those cheat days. Travel, it's a lot harder.
Yes. So how does one adapt their eating habits when they're traveling? And when they're being social, because you don't want to be that bore who says, I can't eat that and I can't
Of
eat
course.
that.
Of course.
So
And to be honest, and I never do that.
No.
I've never done that. Even with OC,
Yeah.
like I never did that. I can't eat this, I can't eat.
Yeah.
It was never about that. It was about like, let me have a look at the menu and see,
Yeah.
What is something that would be nourishing for me and delicious for me and enjoyable for me at this moment in time. But that's because I was equipped with the knowledge.
Yeah.
So exactly for this question, we launched this whole shelf-stable line. So like when I travel, this is my hack.
You can take it with you. Yeah.
Right? This
What
is my
that
hack.
one again?
So these are omega crackers.
Okay,
They
great.
have more omega than a pill of omega.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
It's got a very simple recipe with 6 ingredients: chia seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, millet flour, oregano.
Wow.
Right? So
Keep those in your bag. And
keep them in my bag.
Yeah.
Avoid the plain food or whatever, through the day. So like things like these, like my cookies, these are my hacks for when I travel. Now, when you asked about, the understanding of food, like how our relationship with food, that's exactly why now we're launching a new mobile app.
Okay.
Which helps you understand yourself and your relation with food, right? So you can personalize. You can tell the app about yourself that, look, I have issues with cholesterol. This is my height, weight, gender, ethnicity.
Amazing.
My goal is to have better sleep. My goal is to have better gut health, mental health, right? And then tell me the foods I should be eating. And then it builds your healthcare avatar. And shows you parts of the body according to the information you gave us, and according to clinical research and Ayurveda, parts of the body that food can help you with.
Amazing.
Achieve those goals.
How do you work with somebody who is, because food addiction is a big problem, right? Because they are addicted.
Yeah.
So somebody can fill out this app, but does it help them with the food addiction? That is the biggest problem, isn't it? Everybody wants to do better.
Yeah.
But food is an emotional thing too.
Correct.
So every time you're feeling uncomfortable about something, you'll reach for food to suppress those feelings.
Yeah.
So how are you able to do that with a subscription model?
Yeah.
How do you keep people engaged in that way?
So I think personally, I think food addiction and relationship with food I think that can be changed for the better by having a better understanding and transparency of food.
Yeah, and
right?
I guess if they come to you, they're people who want to feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's half the buy-in already then.
Yeah. That's and also like once you've put in your goals and then you see your body, your healthcare avatar that's been built, and you see ingredients or foods that can help you, and you see the understanding of it. Like, why will they help you?
Okay, good.
Right?
Yeah.
I just feel that changes your relationship with food.
Yes. Okay. I see what you mean. So if you want to sleep better, we're going to suggest these foods because they calm the nervous system. That's why it helps you.
Yeah, and then maybe you just automatically, you have two parts of the brain, the conscious and the unconscious. And then the unconscious part is registering all of it.
Yes.
As much as the conscious part. And then I think unconsciously, as you're going for your sleep routine and you go to the kitchen to get something, instead of having X tea, you might go for Y tea because now you have a better understanding. Similarly, when you're shopping, it can build you a shopping basket if you like.
But can you?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Personalized, right? Gosh. So if you're doing that, then you might pick one tea versus the other tea based on the new knowledge you have. So I do think relationships with food can change by understanding a little bit more about them. The problem today is that we don't understand.
No.
There is no transparency.
No, there isn't. No,
right?
There isn't.
We're also looking to actually incorporate Ayurveda in that.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Even if it's not sort of, you can do the whole dosha specific stuff, right, in your personalization journey.
Yeah.
But even if it's not, even if it's tridoshik.
Absolutely.
Right?
Tridoshik is the best, and seasonal local organic is the best.
And that's what we do.
That's
Seasonal
the
local.
most important thing.
Yeah.
So if that's all anybody remembers, the dosha of course is important, and of course there are foods that don't suit you. But I feel you don't need to know your dosha to know what suits don't fit. What you need to know is, how do I feel when I eat?
Correct.
Simple as that. When I've ate that raw onion, for example, which my dad used to do mukka, like he would with his fist he would break the onion, and he loved raw onion with his food. But actually, if you're a vata dosha, it doesn't suit you. However, you don't need to know that. You'll eat it and your body will say, why did you give me that? I don't feel good.
Interesting.
And that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Everything else it's icing on the cake, but you don't need to know it. Because I think when you overcomplicate knowledge, then you give people a get out clause because they say it's too difficult for me. It's too much for me to understand, so I just won't do it. Whereas if you say the power's with you, you know what suits you, it's fine. You write a food diary and you take a note of what suits you, then it's all good. And also with Ayurveda, think about this. When it's very dry outside, we want to eat nourishing foods. When it's very wet outside, just think of the opposite in your body and in nature. Whatever is going on, if you're feeling imbalanced, do the opposite because that will bring you back. That seesaw will come back into balance. So you're feeling too hot, you need something cooling. You're feeling too cold, you need something warming. That's why in nature, in winter we eat soups because we want to warm our body. You didn't need to know about Ayurveda to know that. You would just do it because your innate true nature is so wise that's all you need to know. And just trust that, and of what goes into the foods, that's important. Don't buy into something that says natural, good for you. Don't buy into that. Do look on the back of the pack. Do ask those questions because we owe it to you to give you those answers. We mustn't take that for granted. So yeah, definitely do that. I think it's wonderful that you're building an app. And when will that be available?
Hopefully soon, in the next couple of weeks.
Amazing.
Hopefully we're going to do some beta testing within family and friends. But it's exactly for this reason. Which is people who like to cook at home but would like to get that knowledge around ingredients swapping and creating dishes that are good for their healthcare. They can use the app to unlock that recipe. They can, use the app to unlock understanding about the body. It's exactly for that. There is something for everybody. So people who are busy like me, who don't have time to cook, we have the meals. Like I'm a subscriber. Right?
Are you?
I'm a food hack subscriber. In fact, tonight I have dinner at home and I'm going to be serving food hack.
Brilliant.
My subscription for the week. And I always do for every single dinner. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a meat eater or if you're a unhealthy eater. You know, we think it's a privilege to be eating like this. So everyone in my house is subjected to eating this way. But then you also have people who love to cook, but who would love to have that understanding. So hopefully the app gives them that. And then you have people who love to snack because they're just, you know, out and about the whole day, on the go. You have the FMCG products, you know. For that, like for the way I look at this is for my kids, it's for the future. I don't buy those McVitie's biscuits anymore, you know, which are just filled with sugars and starches
and nonsense.
Exactly. When you have this stuff,
you
know. Gosh, and they love the taste. And kids are the biggest critics, right? So taste for us is,
I know the ashwagandha ones, the taste is insanely good.
You could never tell that they're healthy.
Never tell. And they are very Moorish. Have to be careful. They are more rich.
They are.
They are delicious.
But they're much lower in calories. So even if you do get carried away, you know, you won't see such drastic
do you
effects.
calorie count or do you not bother?
I think so. We do it for some people who need it, who contact us to say that, look, I need to lose weight, and I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to lose weight, and I think it's actually good,
absolutely,
because it's good for healthcare, you know,
absolutely.
And so for those guys, you know, who need a little bit of help, of course, we, you know, everything is so transparent with us. We give them exactly a breakdown of the micros, the macronutrition. You know, we manage it for them. But you know what you end up finding? Again, it's not rocket. The minute you strip out the bad stuff and you put in the good stuff and you use food science to tweak these recipes, automatically the calories come down. We're back.
And, okay, so what's next for you? You've got the app?
Yes.
And then...
so the app is definitely something we're looking forward to. I think this range we're very excited about.
Where is that available?
So it's available on foodhack.com. That's without a C. Okay. So it's food hack, and the reason it's food hack is because we think it's biohacking, but with food. Foodhack.com. You see the meal subscription, but there's also a little shop. So you can go and you can shop your range. We have this healthier popcorns, the fox nuts that you were trying.
Delicious.
You were munching on.
They were delicious.
Yeah. So, and then I think for us, like, we do want to take this concept and these products international as well, you know, and there are certain markets that we have been studying because we're getting a massive pull. Especially, you know, populations where you do see higher cholesterol, higher diabetes levels in their genes. You know, so we're looking into that. So hopefully...
Will you take it to like California and places where they're more aware?
I mean, why not? You know, if we find the right partners and opportunities. But even the Middle East, for example, you know, where
definitely.
So that's also the next exciting step for us.
How do you balance your life then? Because you could actually work 24/7 on this. There's so much to be done. Enough for today.
That's a great question. Yeah, you know, I haven't perfected that yet. I wonder why there's such poor connection.
Oh, well, the salient parts are there.
But I think, one, I have a good team now, you know, and I think we still have a long way to go. But I think because it's a mission-driven company, I find that people who stay with us long-term, one, doing this together, but two, I think being mission-driven, I think that really helps them to own it and act as if this is their baby, and not just act, it is their baby. You know, and so that helps me a lot. You know, having a good team, and you've interacted with you know, people. You know, my kids are a part of, we're women, you know, and we're working women. Say don't disturb me or whatever.
It doesn't finish at 5. And they're welcome all the time, I think.
They're welcome all the time. They're very familiar, you know. In fact, they were on the first day back, because they're still in their summer holidays. You know, they...
In London?
It's close by, we're near Park Royal.
Okay, I know where. I know exactly where you are.
But I think, it is 24/7.
But if you enjoy it, it doesn't feel like that, because that work-life balance thing is perhaps a fallacy. Just the whole thing has to work together, doesn't it? What I love is, if I want to, on yesterday afternoon, I stopped to do a driving lesson with my son. And I was able to do that. And then I was able to go to a yoga class. And then I went to my desk at 7 p.m. at home. And I did a bit of work. And actually, I love the way that day is. I wouldn't want it to be 5 o'clock, dead stop. Because I get to do it this other way.
Yeah.
And it's great fun. And my son's interned for me this year.
Ah.
I've loved it.
That's amazing.
He's got a really good understanding of what we do now.
Yeah.
And an appreciation for it. I've got to see him blossom. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I agree, we're nothing without the team. The team is everything. So lucky to have the right people. And what I've come to realize is almost better to have a gap than have the wrong person in place. Just wait, just get on with it until you fill the role with the right people.
Absolutely.
And then business is actually not that difficult.
Yeah.
You're just doing what you're doing, enjoying it, and
Exactly.
the
Building your baby.
building your baby, and
Yeah.
the challenges really don't matter.
Yeah, agreed.
Nothing is insurmountable.
Agreed. And I mean, you know, this business, you know, it's helped me meet people like you.
Yes, exactly.
Like-minded founders.
Exactly.
You know, it's a lovely Ayurvedic brand. And I think, honestly, Ayurveda is the future.
Oh, totally.
I think whoever gets to try it, Western world or Eastern or Asian, whatever, you know, I think people see the benefits and they feel it instantly and then they convert to it.
Absolutely.
You know, I think skincare, you know, food, hair care, you know, wherever you can bring in these Ayurvedic principles and products in your life, why not?
It's not a trend. It's like yoga came from the East, then meditation came the other way round. And maybe even as little as 10, 15 years ago, if you talked about meditating in public, you would be seen as a bit hippy-dippy. And now all corporates are doing it. Yoga is like, everybody does it, and Ayurveda will be the next thing. It's not going to go away. It will just become bigger and stronger. Because really, for me, Ayurveda simply means living your true nature.
Yeah.
And there's nothing, to me, it's not about the East or the West. It's about just being the best of who you can be through very simple principles. We've lost our way home. We're just finding our way home to our nature, and it's extraordinary it's taken this long, but thank God we're going back.
Yeah.
We have to go back to go forward.
Absolutely.
And we just lost our way a little bit.
Absolutely.
It's such a privilege that in this lifetime we're finding our way home.
Absolutely.
Do you do yoga?
You know, I wish I was I wish I was very good, advanced in doing yoga. I have done it and I have learned, you know, different styles of it, but I haven't practiced it.
Do you enjoy it?
You know, I think I really enjoy the whole meditation part of it.
Yeah.
I do enjoy the whole stretching part of it. You know, but I do like my cardio and my weights and
weights are so important.
You know, the Pilates.
Yes.
So for me, I can't just stick with one form of exercise, and so I like mixing it up.
And you go through phases, don't you? I went through a Pilates phase, loved it, couldn't get enough of it. Now I'm in my yoga phase. I can't wait to get to the class.
Right.
And it has to be with running.
Yeah.
But I know in 6 months from now
it'll be different.
A bit less of that and a bit more of something else. Rebounding was a phase for a while, and nothing wrong with mixing it up. But you were right, the meditation part of it and the stretching part is actually the most important part.
Yeah. You
know, those acrobatics, that's not where it's at anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And give me, before we go, your daily routine.
So
a typical day.
So a typical day, I like to wake up early in the
What's
morning.
early?
6:30. So it all depends on what time I go to bed, because I do believe in sleep a lot.
Same.
Right? And I try to aim for 7-8 hours.
Are you asleep at 10:30 then normally?
At 10:30, yes, I could be, but sometimes it also, so anywhere in that 10:30 to 11:30 range. I mean, sometimes I don't get the full 8 hours. I aim for it. And then I, like to wake up. And that's when I have my morning routine of exercise, meditation, shower, and then I'm ready for my kids.
Yeah.
By the time they've woken up and I'm down, breakfast with them and math with them and, talking with them. Talking is so important, right?
It is, absolutely.
And every day sort of just reminding them what's on their plate, why, and, where's the fiber, just little education. It's not just about food.
No, of course.
Some days it's just about talking.
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
And then drop them off to school, and then I'm at work. While they're at their work, I'm at my work, and work is so varied because we've got the whole tech side, which is super fun and exciting, and we've got our meals, which are like super hands-on. You have to be very hands-on, keen eye for detail. That's a lot of hard work.
Yes.
And we've got this range, we've got a clever marketing team, and, so it's just different conversations throughout the day, different decisions. So for me, my morning routine is so important for me to be on point. And then I come back and I have the kids, and oftentimes I have to be out for dinner.
Yes.
And it's not because it's socializing, but it's more networking for the business.
Of course.
Introducing people to the food, to the business. So you have to be very disciplined to be able to get back in time, not for it to be a late night, not to consume alcohol, not to, because if you eat well when you're out at dinner, the next day is spent well. If you eat wrong, my whole next day kind of...
Absolutely. And not too late.
And not too late.
Yeah, I feel awful when I eat late.
So it's that fine balance every day.
Yes.
But I strive to achieve that, because if you do get it right, like I got it right yesterday, today's amazing. It feels like a Monday.
Absolutely.
I'm ready.
Absolutely. Gosh, that's wonderful. Well, we've got Notting Hill Carnival coming up this weekend. Certainly not Monday. It's not going to be a quiet weekend, but it's quite wonderful anyway. The sun is shining. There's nothing more we could ask for. And I feel so grateful that people are wanting to learn and wanting to change their lives, because honestly, every person that changes their life, I know when I meet people in the streets, things are going to be more harmonious because they are feeling better. So it helps all of us. So really appreciate that. And thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, and thank you for being a part of Ayurveda and just learning a little bit about it and getting connected with your mind, body and soul. But please do check out Food Hack, check out Molly Rituals, lovely products. I tried the sleep.
Oh, do you like that?
Dharma, which is the
pillow mist.
The pillow mist, and I felt like I slept really well. Every time I remembered to do it, every time I felt like I slept really well. Yeah. So I think there's something here, guys. I mean, I know Ayurveda really works for me. Yes. But I think it'll work for everybody. So please check out both our products. Yeah.
And be with us for the Khichdi cleanse. Every changing of the season is the best time for you to have a cleanse, because your body is most receptive to that. So make sure you join the Khichdi cleanse, and it's only 3 days to reset your body and be your best self for the heavy, enduring winter that's about to come, because it's a time of a lot of socializing and having to be on form. And the weather's changing outside, so you're having to deal with that. So the Khichdi cleanse will equip you to do that really well, and we'll be sharing that on our social media.
Yeah, very soon. I would be the first to sign up, actually. Any excuse to just be a better version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
Thank you for joining us. Take care.
Bye.
Now, how do I have to invite you?
How do I end this?
Oh, yeah, because we're still...
Are you sure you want to end?
End now.